Inside the banquet hall, the noble guests erupt into a frenzy. They rush toward the entrance in pure disbelief as word spreads that the stellar commander has arrived. As they scramble outside, people excitedly discuss the sheer magnitude of this event, noting that across the entire 100 Great Star regions, there are only two stellar commanders in existence. One guest explains that while one commander defends the outer space battlefield against alien beasts, the other rules over the star regions, making him the absolute highest authority among trillions of races. The crowd is completely baffled, wondering why such a supreme figure would ever visit their local gathering. Seeing an incredible political opportunity, an eager Wells urges Mifu to hurry and greet the commander with him, calling it a once-in-a-millennium chance. Elder Bosi enthusiastically agrees. He realizes that having the stellar commander present on the day of their family's power transition could elevate the Lerse's family status to unprecedented heights. The crowd swarms out of the mansion, while a frantic Elder Bosi laments that they did not have time to prepare a proper welcoming ceremony. Outside, a bewildered Saya is still pinned down by the guards, muttering in shock about the stellar commander's sudden arrival. One of the guards forces Saya's face into the pavement and steps on his head. He cruelly tells Saya to keep his head down, claiming he is unworthy of looking at the supreme leader and warning him not to offend the VIPs. A colossal spaceship hovers above, projecting a brilliant beam of light down to the ground. The entire crowd of nobles, including the Lerse's elders, drops to their knees in absolute reverence as a figure slowly descends within the light. The figure touches down, revealing the imposing red-haired stellar commander, Ling Bu. As the kneeling crowd respectfully welcomes him, the stellar commander begins to address them. He tells everyone to rise and casually explains that he heard the Lerse's family was appointing a new patriarch today. He states he came specifically to offer his congratulations, politely asking if his uninvited presence is an intrusion. Overjoyed, Wells believes the legendary stellar commander has arrived just to honor his succession. Elder Bosi shares this immense excitement. Sweating but smiling broadly, he marvels that their modest family could receive such an unimaginable privilege. The surrounding nobles are equally stunned, murmuring among themselves that the Lerse's family is undeniably destined for unprecedented glory. Rushing forward to greet the supreme leader, Wells and Elder Bosi quickly assure the stellar commander that his presence is absolutely no intrusion. Internally, Wells is ecstatic, convinced that his ultimate rise to power is now guaranteed. Watching from the sidelines, Mifu is thoroughly pleased with herself. She gloats internally, certain she made the right choice by abandoning Saya for Wells, and fantasizes about becoming the queen of a powerful new era. The stellar commander smiles calmly, expressing his relief that he's not interrupting their proceedings, while an eager Wells laughs in agreeable submission. However, the stellar commander suddenly asks to see the new patriarch, casually referring to him by the name Saya Lerse. Wells's arrogant facade instantly shatters into pure shock as he stammers his brother's name in utter disbelief. A dead silence falls over the entire crowd. Elder Bosi and the other nobles freeze in complete confusion. Even the armored guards pinning Saya to the ground are bewildered, questioning if the ruler actually just asked for their captive. Seizing the brief moment of distraction, Saya strikes the guards, breaking free from their grip and demanding they let him go. As Wells turns around in panic, Saya sprints forward through the crowd, raising his hand to draw the stellar commander's attention. He desperately announces his identity. Finally reaching the center of the gathering, Saya stops to catch his breath, panting heavily from the exertion of his escape. The stellar commander smiles warmly and reaches out, firmly grasping a stunned Saya's hand in a highly respectful handshake. While shaking his hand, the stellar commander sincerely congratulates the young man, declaring that the starry sky will remember this momentous occasion. Saya is visibly bewildered by the endorsement, while Wells watches from behind. His face twisted in utter shock, desperate to salvage his carefully laid plans, Wells steps forward and frantically objects. He claims there's been a terrible mistake and insists that he is the actual new patriarch of the family. Mifu eagerly chimes in from behind, echoing his protests. The stellar commander completely ignores their frantic corrections with a calm, dismissive expression.
He simply asks the crowd if there happens to be a second person named Saya Lerse in the area. Wells is left completely speechless.
And terrified, standing tall with absolute authority. The Stellar Commander formally declares that there is only one person he acknowledges as the true patriarch of the Lyris family, placing a supportive hand on Saya's shoulder. He firmly states that the title belongs solely to Saya. He then delivers a chilling ultimatum, warning the gathered crowd that if they choose anyone else as their leader, it will only prove one thing. With his eyes glowing a menacing red, the Stellar Commander's demeanor turns deadly serious. He threatens that choosing anyone else would mean the current members do not represent the true will of the Lyris family, heavily implying he will wipe them out if they defy his choice. This heavy implication terrifies the crowd. Elder Bosi and the other family members freeze in absolute fear, realizing that defying the Stellar Commander means the complete annihilation of their entire lineage. Instantly abandoning his loyalty to Wells out of sheer self-preservation, Elder Bosi raises his fist high. He loudly swears upon the family's glory that Saya will immediately be named the new patriarch. The rest of the opportunistic nobles follow suit without hesitation. They raise their fists and begin enthusiastically chanting Saya's name, instantly accepting him as their new leader to appease the Stellar Commander. Saya stands silently in the center of the cheering crowd, completely overwhelmed by the surreal turn of events. Pierre approaches her brother, her usual calm composure entirely broken. Looking at him in sheer astonishment, she asks how he possibly managed to secure the personal backing of the Supreme Stellar Commander. Crushed by the sudden reversal of fortune, Meifu collapses to her knees in tears, realizing the catastrophic mistake she made by betraying Saya. In a desperate fit of rage, she lunges at Wells, grabbing him by the collar and blaming him for ruining her future. Meifu slaps Wells hard across the face, furiously screaming that all the power and glory he just lost was originally supposed to be hers to share with Saya. Enraged by the assault, Wells violently punches Meifu back. He curses her as a pathetic gold digger and harshly reminds her that she was the one who willingly threw herself at him for power. Ignoring the chaotic scuffle between the former lovers, a deeply confused Saya turns to the Stellar Commander. He politely admits he does not actually know the Supreme Leader and questions why he intervened on his behalf. The Stellar Commander smiles warmly and tells Saya to thank the good friend he made on the dimensional battlefield. He explains that this friend wanted to ensure Saya was well taken care of, but since he couldn't leave the battlefield himself, he entrusted the task to the commander. Saya's face lights up with sheer excitement and awe as everything finally clicks into place. He recalls the mysterious witch Yin's prophecy, realizing her cryptic words have been flawlessly fulfilled. Overwhelmed with profound gratitude, Saya realizes that Liu Sheng was the one who orchestrated this triumphant return. He understands now that Liu Sheng is the prophesied crowned figure at the peak of the stars, who arranged for his absolute victory from behind the scenes.
This is the end of the video. If you would like to watch the next part, please subscribe to our channel.